Merry Christmas, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Tonight's story is called Somewhere Out There, a Christmas love story. It follows Leandra's search for love after she locked eyes with a mysterious stranger at a Christmas Eve event. They shared a moment that felt like pure magic, and then he vanished from her life. But love is never simple. Their journey back to one another becomes tangled in betrayal, jealousy, and the high-pressure world of music. Will she get a second chance to find him again? Let's find out. Happy holidays, and let's get into this story.
She stepped out from behind the Christmas tree, her heartbeat still stumbling over the shock of what she had overheard. For a moment she simply stood there, letting the cool night air settle against her skin. A faint shiver raced along her arms, and she tugged the jacket closer around her shoulders, his jacket, letting its warmth steady her as she climbed the steps toward the lobby. She needed to find Jenna. She needed to talk about this. About everything she had just discovered. The lobby was alive, buzzing with excitement, chatter, clinking glasses, and the low hum of anticipation. Revelers drifted around in sparkling outfits, counting down the final minutes of the year. 30 minutes. That was all that was left. Leandra wove her way through the crowd and slipped into the coffee shop. There, in the dim corner by the window, she spotted Jenna and Mark, curled into each other, their laughter soft and intimate, hands intertwined, completely lost in their own little world. She paused, watching them. On any other night, the sight would have squeezed her heart, that familiar ache creeping up her ribs, the longing to be loved like that, to belong to someone so completely. But tonight, nothing tugged at her. No ache. No hollow space. Just a strange, quiet calm. She smiled, a little surprised at herself. They are happy. Let them be. She could talk to Jenna later. Careful not to disturb them, she eased back out of the coffee shop and into the rhythmic chaos of the lobby. And then, there it was. That scent. It wasn't the jacket, the scent had faded a bit. This was stronger, lingering, like he was close. Soft, warm, magnetic. It drifted through the crowd like a whisper, brushing past her senses and catching hold of something deep in her chest. She couldn't help the small smile that crept onto her lips. Yep, she murmured under her breath, amusement bubbling. I'm definitely going crazy. But she didn't stop walking. And she didn't look back. Something in her, quiet but sure, pulled her forward. Her movements felt less like her own and more like an unseen force was guiding her. She barely registered the hum of conversation, the clinking of champagne glasses, or the faint strains of music enveloping the lobby. Instead, her gaze was drawn, almost magnetically, beyond the hotel's entrance doors. Across the street, the park stood bathed in the soft glow of streetlights and Christmas lights, the reggae and soul songs permeating the air, willing more people to enter the park. That was where it all began. A single moment, a single kiss, one that had refused to fade no matter how much she tried to bury it. Then, like a whisper in the wind, she heard it. Go. The word was so clear, so distinct, that she spun around, expecting to see someone standing close. But the lobby buzzed on as if nothing had happened. No one had spoken to her. And yet, she felt it. Her pulse quickened. Her fingers tightened around the lapels of the jacket. Maybe this was foolish. Maybe it was nothing. But maybe, just maybe, it was something. And with that, she stepped through the huge lobby doors and into the night. The crisp night air welcomed her as she crossed the street, her heels clicking softly against the pavement. As she neared the open space where the New Year's Eve event was unfolding, she slowed to a stop, her breath catching in her throat. Here, she thought, this very spot. Thinking back to Christmas Eve. She could almost hear the music, feel the rhythm thrumming through her veins as she swayed in his arms, the scent of his cologne mingling with the crisp night air. The way his hands had held her, firm yet gentle. The way his lips had captured hers in a kiss that left a mark not on her skin, but deep in her soul. God, why can't I let this go? She shook her head, silently berating herself. It was ridiculous, clinging to a phantom, a man she didn't even know. He's gone, Leandra. Probably never to be seen again. With a soft sigh, she made her way to a nearby bench, settling into its cool embrace. The night was alive with laughter, couples stealing kisses beneath the glow of streetlights, love blooming all around her. She tilted her head back, gazing up at the endless stretch of midnight blue sky, where stars blinked like distant secrets. A familiar melody surfaced in her mind, one they had removed from tonight's set list. It was about long-distance love. But now, it felt right. Her lips parted, and a soft hum escaped her throat, the tune drifting into the night like a whispered wish. Somewhere out there. Her voice carried into the breeze, and for a brief, aching moment, she allowed herself to believe that maybe, just maybe, he was out there thinking about her. At the exact moment Leandra stepped through the hotel doors, a young man, across the lobby caught sight of something, his jacket, draped over a woman in a flowing red dress. His heart slammed against his ribs. It's her. Without thinking, he surged forward, weaving through the crowd, eyes locked on the spot where she had been just seconds ago. But by the time he reached the entrance, she was gone. He turned in every direction, searching frantically. Had he imagined it? Had fate truly been so cruel as to let him glimpse her, only to snatch her away again? No, not again. For days, he had wandered the city in his free time, retracing his steps between the hotel and the park, hoping, praying, to find her. The park, he whispered, his pulse racing. That's where she is. Without another thought, he bolted across the street, determined not to let her slip away again. He spotted her sitting alone on the park bench, wrapped in his jacket, her shoulders slightly hunched, lost in thought. She looked dejected, sadness etched into her features, and an ache settled in his chest. He wanted, needed, to see her smile again. Seeing her in his jacket sparked a flicker of hope. Maybe, she wasn't ready to let go either. Maybe soon, it wouldn't be the fabric keeping her warm, but him. He took a cautious step forward, but before he could call out to her, she suddenly sat up. She seemed startled as she looked around, sniffing the air. He took a few steps back. She giggled as she mumbled something under her breath about her mind playing tricks on her. He hesitated, deciding to hang back, waiting for the right moment. She exhaled deeply and settled back onto the bench, tucking her feet beneath the flowing red fabric of her dress. Then, she started humming. Somewhere out there, beneath the pale blue sky, someone's thinking of me, and loving me tonight. His breath caught. He knew that song. His mother used to play it all the time. He took a step closer. Somewhere out there, someone is saying a prayer. He could see the emotion on her face, the way her voice wavered ever so slightly. She stopped abruptly. A single tear slipped down her cheek. A few heartbeats of silence passed. And then, standing just a few feet away from her, he whispered the words she couldn't bring herself to say. That we'll find one another, in that big somewhere out there. Her eyes shot open. For a fleeting second, she thought she was imagining it, just another trick of her mind, like the scent that had been teasing her senses all night. But no. He was here. Really here. Not a memory, not a daydream, walking toward her with that same quiet confidence, his voice still echoing somewhere in the night air behind him. She shot up from the bench so fast she nearly lost her balance. It's you. The words burst out of her in a breathless laugh, her relief so real it made her chest ache. It's really you. He exhaled too, just as shaken, just as stunned, his shoulders loosening like he'd been holding his breath for hours. Her excitement told him everything he needed to know. She had been thinking about him. He hadn't imagined their connection. It hadn't been one-sided. He stepped closer, and when he reached for her hand, gently, like she was something precious, her breath caught. His fingers were warm and steady, fitting around hers like they had been meant to. The touch wasn't just comforting. It was grounding. Awakening something she had been trying to ignore. A spark she couldn't pretend away. He guided her back down to the bench, but this time their knees brushed, their hands still tangled together. They were both a little giddy, both trying and failing to slow their racing hearts. A strange, sweet joy bloomed between them, so strong it made her feel hopeful again, alive again. For the first time that night, she wasn't cold. For the first time in a very long time, she wasn't lonely. She shook her head, trying to pull herself out of the warm days surrounding them. His presence felt like a spell, one she didn't want to break away from. "I'm sorry," she blurted out, lifting their joined hands instinctively. "But before anything crazy happens again like last time, who are you?" His eyebrows lifted, and then he laughed softly, surprised, almost relieved. "Wow. It's very rare that people have absolutely no clue who I am. Honestly. It's a nice feeling." Leandra blinked, confused. "What do you mean?" He looked down, rubbing the back of his neck before meeting her eyes again with a small, sheepish smile. "My name is Kevin." She stared at him. No spark of recognition. "I guess you're famous," she said apologetically. "I'm sorry, these days I'm so clueless. Our agent keeps us busy. Between rehearsals and performances, I have no time. I haven't checked my socials in ages." She shook her head, still half convinced she must be dreaming. "I can't believe I'm actually talking to you." A slow grin tugged at the corner of his mouth. "Are you a singer?" he asked, already guessing the answer, but wanting to hear it in her voice. "Yes," she said, her cheeks warming. "Sorry, yes, I'm a singer. I'm Leandra." She reached out her hand to shake his. He took it, his grip firm and warm, lingering just long enough to send a quiet thrill up her arm. "Great to meet you again, Kevin." The word again hovered between them, soft, meaningful, charged, reminding them both of the moment that had pulled them together before they even knew each other's names. He wanted to talk to her all night, but he figured he would have forever to do so. So he took her hand and slowly led her to the spot where they danced and had their first kiss. As if on cue, the band struck up. It was just about 5 minutes to the new year, and this time they both knew they would ring in the new year together. The Christmas lights cast a soft glow around them, but all she could see was him. His deep, searching gaze held hers as if trying to memorize every detail of her face. Slowly, he raised a hand to her cheek, his touch feather-light yet electric. She exhaled shakily, placing her hand over his, her fingers trembling against his warmth. Then suddenly, Kevin's expression shifted, panic tightening his jaw. Leandra's heart dropped. "He's going to leave me again," she thought. But instead, he leaned in, his breath brushing her ear. "Someone's coming over here," he whispered. "Someone I really don't want to see. Can you just follow my lead?" She frowned but nodded. "Yes." Before she could ask more, a voice sliced through the noise. Leandra stiffened. She knew that voice anywhere. "Sasha," she whispered in disbelief. "You know her?" Kevin murmured. "Yes," Leandra groaned. "The bane of my existence." She rolled her eyes, annoyed that Sasha was ruining her moment, their moment. Kevin exhaled sharply, clearly irritated. She's been trying to get to me for the past month. No matter what I say or what my team tells her, she won't leave me alone. Hello, Kevin, Sasha purred again as she approached, practically shoving Leandra aside to get closer to him, not sparing her a glance. She stood just ahead of Leandra, shoulders back, smile fixed. Leandra stepped back, her hands up in surrender to give her room. Kevin looked at her with a blank, cold expression. Sasha, I'm trying to have a special moment with my girlfriend. If you need anything, please go through the office. Sasha froze. Her confidence cracked. Just for a second, but enough for Leandra to see straight through it. Kevin had always brushed off her advances with polite deflections, always diplomatic, always mindful of the quiet alliance between her agency and the Denin Foster Group. Sasha knew she was tolerated, not admired, but she had convinced herself that if she pushed hard enough, flirted long enough, positioned herself just right, she could win him. But tonight he was cold. There was no gentle smile, no soft excuse, no half-hearted attempt at courtesy. He looked at her with the distant calm of a man who simply did not care anymore. And then, with a sweetness that cut sharper than any insult, he reached behind her to take Leandra's hand, pulling her forward. He then slipped his arm around Leandra's waist with natural ease, like it belonged there. My girlfriend, he repeated, his voice warm, certain, unapologetic. I think you know her. Leandra. Sasha repeated in her head, then turned to look at the woman she had ignored for the past few minutes. A smile, flimsy, trembling, refusing to hold, stretched across her lips as she tried to recover. But her eyes betrayed her. Shimmering with tears, she refused to let fall in front of the woman she despised most. Leandra. What does she have that I don't? The question screamed inside her head, as she forced herself to stand there, silent, humiliated. Kevin's soft smile, so gentle toward Leandra, so dismissive toward her, felt like a slap she couldn't dodge. And now, the only man she'd been trying to get close to, Kevin Foster, was standing next to her, hand in hand with Leandra. The man she'd spent weeks plotting to impress. The man she imagined beside her at events. The one she hoped would pull her into his world, his circles, his spotlight. Leandra watched as Sasha's face cycled through the different emotions, but she simply smiled. A soft, radiant, unbothered smile. There was victory in it, subtle, elegant, undeniable. The fact that he referred to her as his girlfriend tugged at her heart. She realized something in that moment. This was Kevin Foster, the heir to the Foster fashion empire, partner to the Danin brand, with franchises stretching across the entire Caribbean, and making moves to enter the African market. She didn't know everything about him, but everyone knew the name Danin and Foster. Their fashion house was practically royalty. Kevin, the very same person Sasha was bragging about earlier. She met Sasha's unsteady gaze. Hello, Sasha, Leandra said sweetly, her voice smooth as silk. Nice to see you again, for the second time tonight. Sasha's world tilted. She replayed the moment in the event hall where Jenna and Leandra were performing. The look on Leandra's face told her she had overheard the conversation she'd had with Anna. And in that instant, Sasha understood, she had lost. Leandra was standing hand in hand with Kevin Foster. That alone told Sasha everything. Leandra now stood at the center of a world Sasha had been fighting to break into, the spotlight fixed directly on her. Any further move against her wouldn't just look desperate. It could get Sasha pushed out of the music industry entirely. Because challenging Leandra now meant challenging one of the most powerful families in the Caribbean. And that was a battle Sasha knew she couldn't win. All she could do was stare at Leandra with that hollow, defeated look. Her eyes glistened, tears pooling faster than she could blink them away. She refused to break. Not here. Not in front of them. She swallowed hard, forcing her voice into something steady, something presentable. I'm sorry, Kevin, she managed to say, though the words scratched her throat like glass. Didn't mean to interrupt. Kevin nodded politely. He didn't offer reassurance. Didn't give her the validation she was desperate for. His hand remained firmly around Leandra's waist, almost possessively so. That hurt more than anything, but at the end of the day, she couldn't afford to separate herself from the Denon Foster group. That alliance meant steady work, prestige, and the illusion of belonging to the elite circle she had always chased. She wasn't about to risk losing that, even if it meant ingratiating herself to Leandra from now on. However, if she truly knew Leandra, she'd have realized that nothing said earlier that evening would ever reach Kevin's ears. But Leandra wasn't about to correct that assumption. Sasha flicked her gaze to Leandra and attempted a casual wave. But the gesture was stiff, barely more than a twitch, like her arm wasn't entirely under her control. "Have a good night," she whispered. "Happy New Year." Leandra responded and then she turned away, too eager to escape. Leandra watched her go, the sway in Sasha's steps uneven, shoulders tight, her entire posture radiating defeat. The strong, loud, unstoppable Sasha, reduced to a shaking silhouette walking into a crowd that suddenly felt too big for her. Leandra exhaled slowly. Not triumph. Not gloating. Just release. The storm Sasha used to cast over her was finally cracking. Kevin squeezed her hand gently, grounding her back in the moment. "You okay?" he asked. Leandra nodded, gaze still lingering where Sasha had disappeared. "Yes," she said softly. Then, as if on cue, the band struck up again, ready to usher in the new year. As they looked on stage, they realized it was the same band from Christmas Eve. They danced in each other's arms as the music played, as if they didn't want a repeat of the week before. It was now a minute to midnight, and the singer started to give his wishes to everyone for a great new year. He then started to scan the audience and stopped on the couple. "There you are. I knew I would see you back here." He turned to the crowd. "Hey, let's big up this new couple ringing in the new year with us." The crowd found the couple and cheered. The singer continued hyping the crowd as they waited for the countdown. Their eyes met. And just like that, they both burst into laughter. "This is crazy," she murmured. He pulled her closer, his grip firm, but gentle, as he held her. Her head rested against his chest, the steady rhythm of his heartbeat blending with the melody. This wasn't a fantasy, not a fleeting daydream she had clung to for weeks. This was real. She lifted her gaze, searching his face, needing confirmation that this moment was truly happening. He met her eyes with a soft smile, his voice barely above a whisper. "I'm here." The words sent a warmth flooding through her, melting away every doubt, every sleepless night spent wondering if she had imagined it all. "I'm so glad I found you," he said, his voice steady with meaning. Something about his gaze, steady, warm, and inviting, melted her defenses. A strange calm washed over her, as if she'd stepped into a different moment in time. Without a word, he took her hand and led her a few feet away from the crowd. The music pounded, the energy around them electric as the countdown to midnight neared, yet she felt as if she were dancing to a slow, soulful jazz melody. Everything else faded, the noise, the people, the flashing lights. It was just the two of them, swaying in their own little world. The band fell silent, and the lead singer's voice echoed through the night, rallying the crowd for the countdown. 10, 9, 8. For them, time slowed. The cheers, the excitement, the flashing lights, it all faded into the background. The only thing that existed was the space between them, his forehead resting against hers as their breaths mingled. The kiss they both remembered, the one they had ached for, lingered just inches away, and instead of rushing it, they reveled in the moment. His hand rested on her waist, firm yet gentle, while the other rose to her cheek, his thumb grazing her skin with an almost reverent touch. A shiver ran through her as she melted into him, certain, finally, that she was exactly where she was meant to be. 7. 6. 5. As she wrapped her arms around the nape of his neck, her fingers playing with his locks, he closed his eyes and took a deep breath. His thoughts blurred, his heartbeat drowning out the countdown. He was with her, the woman his heart had led him to. Just a week earlier, at the hotel event launching the partnership between him and Dharma Denin, a collaboration set to propel them further into the fashion industry, as the next generation prepared to take the reins, he had felt completely overwhelmed. The unspoken expectation hung heavy in the air, that this partnership would be sealed, strengthened, and secured through marriage to Dharma Denin. A future mapped out without his consent. He had already made up his mind. If it came to that, he would walk away from the deal entirely and strike out on his own. That pressure had driven him to the park. He had sat alone on a bench, turning the partnership over in his mind, wrestling with the sense of being trapped. He knew Dharma felt it too. He had been there, lost in thought, when he saw her, walking into the park like Cinderella arriving at a ball. In that instant, everything shifted. Without thinking, he had approached her and taken her hand. From that very first touch, he knew. This wasn't a coincidence. This was fate. She was his woman. Now, with her arms around his neck once more, her fingers threading into his locks, the world faded again. The noise, the countdown, the expectations, all of it disappeared. There was only her, and the certainty that he had finally found where he belonged. 4. 3. He leaned in, his breath warm against her lips, eyes locked onto hers as if he were searching for something, permission, a shared desire, a silent promise. 2. 1. The fireworks roared overhead as their lips met, hungry, searching, a deep kiss filled with longing. Desire sparked between them, electric and breathtaking, mirroring the explosions of color igniting the night sky. Then the crowd erupted into cheers, and reality came rushing back, but the magic of the moment lingered, glowing quietly between them. She felt as if she had been locked in his kiss for a lifetime. She didn't want the moment to end. Their connection felt timeless, like a scene pulled from a dream. As the night deepened, they remained on the bench, wrapped in each other's warmth, tucked away from searching eyes and the noise of the world. They spoke in hushed tones, shared soft laughter, and let the quiet stretch between them, unrushed, unguarded, sacred. Every second felt like a gift. It no longer mattered how fate had broken them apart, or how many winding paths had led them back to this moment. What mattered was that it had. That love, patient and persistent, had found its way home. With his arms around her and her heart finally at ease, she knew, without doubt, that this was where she was always meant to be. Beneath the same stars that once bore witness to a fleeting kiss, they sat together again. No longer strangers. No longer searching. Just two souls, reunited at last, ready to step into the future, the new year, together.
Thank you for listening to Somewhere Out There, a Christmas story. Please let me know what you think in the comments, and also subscribe to the channel for more intriguing stories. Happy holidays, and we will see you on the next one. Until next time, walk good.